Welcome, everyone. Welcome back, people who haven't been here in a while. Welcome, new people. It's always exciting to see who's on the screen each time. Um, for those who have not been here regularly, um, basically, this is an hour of listening to a couple of poems, getting some time to write our own poems and share them with each other, and really just kind of just reflect back to each other what resonates for each of us. Hi, Coke. We're just starting. So of course, as always on Zoom, if you have a lot of background noise, just go ahead and mute yourself, but then remember to unmute yourself when you want to speak. Since we can see people pretty much, if you want to speak, just raise your hand or unmute yourself, and start speaking. Um, it seems like a lot of us are kind of happy to be back to Fridays for this particular group. And just a note that you do have to re-register each time in order to get the packet and the reminders and everything sent to you. Um, and then on Tuesdays now, we're going to have the 4 sessions of specifically poetry dealing with grief and loss. And that will start this coming Tuesday, the 14th. Um, so, welcome. I'm so happy everyone is here this morning. And let's see. I think we'll go around and do our introductions first. So for those who are new, basically we just introduce ourselves with our name and where we are sitting in the world right now. It varies from week to week, and we always have people from different places, which is so exciting. And and then this morning, just picking a color or an image that might describe how you're feeling right now this morning. And oh, great. Gail just put in the information about this coming Tuesday. Um, I will start. My name is Red Wing. For those, there's only maybe one new person. My name is Red Wing. I'm a nurse and an educator here at UCSF in San Francisco. And I'm just so thrilled to get to do this poetry work with everyone each week. It's just really the highlight of my week. And I would say my image color today is blue, somewhere between sky blue and dark blue. All right, so once again, we're literally here from all over the map, so it's it's so exciting. Um, Let me pull up my other screen. So, as always, I will start with a poem and just noticing for you if there's a line or a word or an idea in the poem that resonates with you, that makes you curious, that makes you just think more about something else. Um, when I was thinking about poems today, I was sort of like, okay, where are we now? So, this is a poem that I love by William Stafford called You Reading This, Be Ready. Starting here, what do you want to remember? How sunlight creeps along a shining floor? What scent of old wood hovers? What softened sound from outside fills the air? Will you ever bring a better gift for the world than the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go right now? Are you waiting for time to show you some better thoughts? When you turn around, starting here, lift this new glimpse that you found. Carry into evening all that you want from this day. This interval you spent reading or hearing this, keep it for life.
Mm.
What can anyone give you greater than now? Starting here, right in this room, when you turn around. I'm going to read it one more time. You reading this, be ready. Starting here, what do you want to remember? How sunlight creeps along a shining floor? What scent of old wood hovers? What softened sound from outside fills the air? Will you ever bring a better gift for the world than the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go right now? Are you waiting for time to show you some better thoughts? When you turn around, starting here, lift this new glimpse that you found. Carry into evening all that you want from this day. This interval you spent reading or hearing this, keep it for life. What can anyone give you greater than now, starting here, right in this room, when you turn around? So what jumps out at you from these words?
Softened sound from outside.
Breathing, breathing respect that you bring, that you carry with you.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. That's the line I was picking. Yeah.
It's like a call to be present.
Lift this new glimpse.
Yeah.
I like the carry into evening all that you want from this day. It speaks of what the burdens are, and I think to me this is asking us, what are we remembering? What are we carrying? What are we carrying in our memory? What are we carrying in our thoughts? What are we carrying in the day? What do we carry through to the evening? So I think this is really such a lovely piece that resonates so many ways.
When you turn around, both times.
Yeah.
I like the line, what do you want to remember?
Mm-hmm.
Just that.
What can anyone give you that's greater than now?
Mm.
There's another William Stafford poem called Assurance that reminds me of this poem in a weird way. It's sort of like, you will never be alone, you hear so deep a sound. But then, the last line of that poem is like, you turn your head, the whole wide world pours down. So and I feel like this poem is kind of similar to that poem in like seeing what's there in front of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I'm struck by how different it is when you just reading a poem at different times in different settings with different realities going on in the world. They mean something different each time. So for me, when I read or feel that line of the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go now, it's just the intensity of the line that we are all carrying of I can't breathe.
Mm,
That is just, I feel that so intensely, this breathing respect, the respect of breathing.
mm.
So I'm going to suggest that as a prompt, really you can use any line or word that jumps out at you as a prompt, or you can use starting here. What do you want to remember? Or when you turn around. Or what gift can anyone give you? Whichever line resonates best for you. And we will do a 4-minute write. And starting now. So if you want to mute yourself while you're writing, feel free. So who would like to share some of what came through them this morning? So, at the risk of reading a longer poem, I'm going to anyway. Because I discovered this poem recently by Pablo Neruda called Now We Will Count to 12.
Mm.
So I'll just read it once because it's long. So just listen for a line that maybe makes sense for you. Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still for once on the face of the earth. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would not look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death.
Hmm.
Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go.
Mm.
I want this poem to feel more hopeful than I actually feel at the end of it. I'm not sure why that's true, but it's the
Mhm.
the images just feel just a little distancing to me.
Mhm.
I love that when it was sent to us just yesterday or the day before, and I read it, and it's just so beautiful, and I reread it, and it's gorgeous. But the way you just read it, Red Wing, really gave it just a whole other feel for me, or understanding of certain words. And so I think I love the way you read these poems. Thank you so much.
Do you think it would be possible for you to read the poem one more time if we have time? It's just so lovely to hear it from you aloud, if time allows.
Sure. Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still for once on the face of the earth. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would not look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go. Kathleen.
Perhaps a huge sadness might, no, I'm sorry. Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel like the voice, the like, it's just struck me that like it's death talking and trying to help a person understand what death is and how to think about death just by being quiet and seeing what's in front of you and what's around you. I don't know if anyone else had that read. I mean, you know, it says, you know, now I'll count to 12 and I will go, and you keep quiet and I will go. Sort of, you know, having like planted the seed of, you know, you can be quiet, you can be still, you can, you know, not have everything figured out, and life will still be there and death will still be there. I don't know.
I get from it a sense of hopefulness. It's the whole effect when I hear this is it's like a kick in the pants to be mindful and live in the present and enjoy the beauty that is now.
What do you feel is the significance of 12? I just wonder about that choice of word. Why not 10? Why not 20?
Well, I think it's a great question. 12 is such a symbolic number, and I believe Pablo Neruda was Christian, so certainly there are the 12 disciples, right? And I think that this poem is so lovely because it doesn't say, I will go, but it doesn't say where he's going. And I think that embraces both life and death. And what I like about this poem is that it's sad and hopeful at the same time. And that very obliqueness and the very construct allows us to hold both of those. And it's interesting because it's 12, but it could also be infinity, right? Because the way the poem is constructed, I think 12 has a lot of more symbolic, to me, more symbolic value than the literal count. I have a sense he's counting to 12, but he's probably going to keep counting, right? Because he's going. Where is he going? Is he going to death? Is he going to life? He doesn't say. And I think that's what's lovely about this poem.
And speaking to what you're saying about the 12 and the number, I'm just curious too that it was written in another language originally. This is a translation, so I just wonder in Spanish, 12, is it, why did he use that? Was it a sound that went really well with the flow of the poem? Is it something like that, or I don't know? But I do feel, as Jill and you, Lorraine, are talking about the holding of death and life. Just reading it and then having it read now twice, it really just brought this sort of sense of sadness for life lost or death and all this, but at the same time, the I don't know, the counting, the ability to count your steps or move into light or into life, or and whether you go alone or not, it's our journey. So I don't know, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
And I appreciate the fact that you read it twice, because the second reading was more revelatory to me than the first one. So thank you for that red one.
It also seems to me there's like so much echoing off the other poem, and then the poems that we wrote and heard that were a reference to the first one, so that in being like, one of the lines that I wrote down was to forgive all certainty, and how when you count to 12 and be very still, there's a forgiveness there, right? And there is no leaning in, there is no turning around, there's just resting. This idea of could we keep our arms still? Could we not be gesturing or shouting, or could we just another line that I wrote down, hi, was this yours? Let surprises comfort you, not startle. In the stillness, there's no startlement. There's just the next step. I also wondered if 12 is the 12 months, because he says the earth can perhaps teach us when everything seems dead. It proves to be alive.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrice, for connecting all the various lines from today into this. That's very beautiful. I'm going to suggest that we just do a 2-minute write. Pick a line that jumps out for you. It could be the first line, or now we will count, or for once on the face of the earth, ... Or perhaps the earth can teach us, or just a word that jumps out at you. And we're just going to write for 2 minutes. Could just be based on your feelings from this poem. So I'm sure we feel like nothing is finished, and that's fine because you have the rest of the day and the rest of your life to finish all of these poems that you've started here. And as always, if you feel like one is finished and you want to send it to share with the world, please do send it to us, either to me or Gail. And we love collecting them and publishing them in our Merry newsletter. Um, so we only have a few minutes. I'm wondering if someone would like to read what came through them. Well, you all just amaze me and inspire me every time we come together. Like 2 minutes of writing, these brilliant, brilliant lines that come out. I want to capture them all. I want you to send them all. Wow. Thank you so, so much. This is just, like I said, it really is, for me, a highlight of my week and an honor that I get to meet with you all and that this is considered palliative care here. And the part of the work that I do, because it certainly does relieve suffering. Thank you all, really. I hope you'll keep writing some of what came through you today because it's just so incredibly beautiful. And we will see you again either next Friday. Some of you might come on Tuesday. Have a peaceful and healthy and safe weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Happy Friday. And blessings to you all.